This conference will now be recorded.
Morning students. Last class I explained this at rest horizontal earth pressure acting on the retaining wall. In the previous classes we discussed the retaining wall is an earth retaining structure. The retaining wall supports the soil. So the retaining wall is a earth retaining structure. The retaining walls are subjected to three types of earth pressures from the soil. We know that the soil supported by retaining wall is called backfill soil. So the retaining walls are subjected to three types of earth pressures from that backfill soil. First one is at rest horizontal earth pressure. Second one is active horizontal earth pressure. Third one is passive horizontal earth pressure. So the retaining walls are subjected to three types of earth pressures from the backfill soil. In that, the first one is at rest horizontal earth pressure acting on the retaining wall. When the retaining wall is in rest condition, then the backfill soil applies the horizontal earth pressure on the retaining wall. That is called at rest horizontal earth pressure on the retaining wall. We are going to discuss what is the equation to determine this at rest horizontal earth pressure on the retaining wall. Last class I explained when the retaining wall is in rest condition, there is no failure in the backfill soil. When the retaining wall is in rest condition, the backfill soil neither subjected to stretching nor subjected to compression. There is no stretching, there is no compression in the backfill soil when the retaining wall is in rest condition. So, in the rest condition of retaining wall, the backfill soil is said to be in the equilibrium condition, elastic equilibrium condition. Since there is no failure in the backfill soil, in the at rest condition of retaining wall, the backfill soil is in elastic equilibrium condition. So, in the at rest condition, please everyone listen this carefully. In the at rest condition, since the backfill soil is in elastic equilibrium condition, we can apply the theory of elasticity equations on the backfill, similar to our strength of materials 1 equations. You can apply that strength of materials or mechanics of materials equations in this backfill at rest condition because the backfill is in elastic equilibrium condition. Now please listen, what is the equation to determine the at rest horizontal earth pressure acting on the retaining wall? This derivation is important, so please everyone follow this derivation carefully. So in the at rest condition, the backfill soil is in elastic equilibrium condition. There is no failure in the backfill soil. So the backfill soil is in elastic equilibrium condition. So in the at rest condition, we can apply the theory of elasticity on the backfill soil. And in the at rest condition, we assume the backfill soil is semi-infinite, the backfill soil is homogeneous, and the backfill soil is elastic and isotropic. So in the at rest condition, we consider that backfill soil is semi-infinite, homogeneous, elastic, and also isotropic. Now, to derive the equation for the at rest horizontal earth pressure acting on the retaining wall, first we consider the retaining wall supporting the backfill soil. So here we have the retaining wall. The retaining wall is supporting the backfill soil. Assume this retaining wall is in rest condition. Consider that retaining wall is in the rest condition. So in the at rest condition, there is no stretching, there is no compression in the backfill soil. So in the at rest condition, the backfill soil is in elastic equilibrium condition. We are going to discuss what is the equation to determine the at rest horizontal earth pressure acting on the retaining wall. To derive the equation, for the at rest horizontal earth pressure acting on the retaining wall, consider the soil element, small soil element, that is this element A. Consider the small portion of soil in the backfill. It is a small element. To discuss the derivation of equation for the at rest horizontal earth pressure acting on the retaining wall, consider the small soil element in the backfill, that is this element A. Check the stresses acting on this soil element. In the at rest condition, the soil element is subjected to three stresses. One is the horizontal stress in the x-axis, sigma h, the vertical stress along the y-axis, sigma v, and also the horizontal stress, sigma h, along the z-axis. So like that, in the at rest condition, this soil element in the backfill subjected to three mutually perpendicular stresses: sigma h along the x-axis, sigma v vertical stress along the y-axis, and also sigma h along the z-axis. These three stresses are acting perpendicular to the soil element. Sigma h along the x-axis is perpendicular to this plane of the element, and sigma v vertical stress is perpendicular to the another plane of the element. Sigma h is also perpendicular to this plane of the element. So these three stresses are the normal stresses. They are not the shear stresses. The three stresses acting on the soil element are the normal stresses. Along the x-axis, sigma h. Along the y-axis, sigma v. Along the z-axis also, sigma h. So in the backfill, the soil element is subjected to three stresses. Now we know that from strength of materials, if the body is subjected to three stresses in the xyz directions, if the body, elastic body, subjected to three mutually perpendicular stresses along the xyz directions, then along the x-axis, the strain in the body Ex is equal to sigma x by E minus mu into sigma y by E minus mu into sigma z by E. That is from the strength of materials or mechanics of materials. You might have studied in the second year in the unit 1, that is simple stresses and strains. When the elastic body is subjected to stresses in three mutually perpendicular directions, sigma x, sigma y, sigma z, then the stress in that elastic, the strain in the elastic body along the x-axis, Ex is equal to sigma x by E minus mu into sigma y by E minus mu into sigma z by E. Apply that strength of materials equation here also. So here this soil element subjected to three mutually perpendicular normal stresses. Along the x-axis, sigma h, horizontal stress. Along the y-axis, sigma v, vertical stress. Along the z-axis, sigma h. Due to these three stresses, normal stresses, let EH, small EH is the strain in this soil element along the x-axis. Along the x-axis, take EH or EX is the strain in this soil element. Since the soil element is subjected to three stresses, the strain along x-axis, is equal to sigma h by E minus mu into sigma v by E minus mu into sigma h by E. E is the Young's modulus, mu is the Poisson's ratio. So in this soil element along the x-axis, the strain is equal to sigma h by E minus mu into sigma v by E minus mu into sigma h by E. So simplifying that, you will get on that soil element along the x-axis, the strain EH is equal to, this is that strain along the x-axis, the strain in the soil element is equal to 1 by E into sigma H. This is the stress on x-axis minus mu into sigma V, the stress on the y-axis plus sigma H, stress on the z-axis. So we applied that strength of materials equation here, or the theory of elasticity. So in that soil element along the horizontal direction, that is x-axis, the strain in the soil element EH is equal to 1 by E into sigma H. This is the stress on the element along the x-axis, horizontal stress, minus mu into sigma V plus sigma H. We know that in the at-rest condition, the backfill is in elastic equilibrium condition. Just now we discussed in the today's class also. We know that in the at-rest condition, the backfill is in elastic equilibrium condition. That indicates in the at-rest condition, there is no stretching of the backfill, there is no compression of the backfill. That is, there is no deformation in the backfill if the retaining wall is in at-rest condition. Since in the at-rest condition, there is no deformation in the backfill, we know that the strain is equal to deformation divided by original length. Either in the tension or in the compression, the strain in the elastic body is equal to deformation by original length. But in the at-rest condition, there is no deformation in the backfill. Since there is no deformation in the backfill, in the at-rest condition, this strain EH is equal to 0. Strain is equal to deformation by original length. But in the at-rest condition, there is no deformation in the backfill. Since there is no deformation in the backfill, in the at-rest condition, the horizontal strain EH at soil element in the backfill is equal to 0, because there is no deformation in the at-rest condition. So this EH on the left side becomes 0. So take this strain in the at-rest condition as 0. This equation 1 becomes as, so the strain is 0. So 0 is equal to 1 by E into sigma H minus mu into sigma V plus sigma H. So from this you will get sigma H minus mu into sigma V plus sigma H is equal to 0. So sigma H is equal to mu into sigma V plus sigma H. We got this equation from this above equation. So sigma H is equal to mu into sigma V plus sigma H, that is equal to, expand this right hand side, that is equal to mu into sigma V plus mu into sigma H. Bring that mu into sigma H to the left side. So the left side is sigma H minus mu into sigma H. Take sigma H common on the left side. So this left side now becomes as sigma H into 1 minus mu is equal to, on the right side, we have this mu into sigma V. Bring this sigma V to the left side, 1 minus mu to the right side. You will get that ratio sigma H by sigma V is equal to mu by 1 minus mu. So in this at-rest condition, first we discuss the horizontal strain in the soil element. So first we discuss the horizontal strain in the soil element, that is EH. This is from theory of elasticity, that is strength of materials. We discuss this horizontal strain in the soil element. But in the at-rest condition, there is no deformation in the backfill. So the strain in the soil element is 0. So in that equation 1, the left side strain is 0. So by taking that strain is equal to 0, we simplify this equation. Based on that simplification, you will get this ratio. Sigma H by sigma V is equal to mu by 1 minus mu. In this equation, mu is the Poisson's ratio of the soil. In that equation, mu is the Poisson's ratio. Sigma V is the vertical stress acting on the soil element. Here sigma V, vertical stress acting on the soil element, and sigma H is the horizontal stress acting on the soil element. So check this diagram. So in that diagram, sigma V is the vertical stress acting on the soil element. Here, this soil element from this top of the backfill is at a vertical depth Z. So from this top of the backfill, we consider this soil element at a vertical depth Z. At the depth Z, at the depth Z from this top of the backfill, the vertical stress acting on the soil element is sigma V, and sigma H is the horizontal stress in the rest condition. Sigma H is the horizontal stress acting on the soil element at a depth Z from the top of the backfill. The same sigma H is also acting on the retaining wall. This same sigma H from the backfill is also acting on the retaining wall. So sigma H is the at rest horizontal earth pressure acting on the retaining wall at a depth Z from this top of the backfill. Here, this ratio sigma H by sigma V. Last class, I stressed this ratio. Every geotechnical engineer, every student should understand that ratio. In geotechnical engineering, sigma H by sigma V, horizontal stress in the soil divided by vertical stress in the soil. Sigma H is the horizontal stress, sigma V is the vertical stress. In soils, that ratio sigma H by sigma V is called the coefficient of earth pressure. So it is the important concept. Everyone should remember this. Sigma
Sir,
H by sigma V in soils. That
sir,
is very, very important.
hello, sir.
Tell me.
Sir, screen is not visible, sir. Just one line is at rest horizontal earth pressure is only the slide is coming. Screen is not available, sir.
Slides are not changing.
Not changing, sir. Only the first slide is only at rest, sir.
Just a minute, please. I will give you the.
Okay, sir.
Is it changing?
No, sir, not changing.
Just wait, please. Maybe the network problem. I will check it. Now, can you see that at rest slide on the screen? Can you see that
Yes, sir.
heading?
Yes,
At
sir.
rest. Okay. Please give me the response. Then can you see the change?
Yes, sir.
Is it changing?
Yes, sir. The earth pressure at rest accepted out of the back. Okay, sir. Slide changing, sir.
Okay. Just. Can you see this picture on the screen?
Yes, sir.
The picture. Can you see that picture on the cell phones?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So please, everyone, check that picture on the screen. Check that picture. In that picture, we have the retaining wall. The retaining wall is supporting the backfill. That is soil. So here the retaining wall is supporting the backfill. We assume this retaining wall is in rest condition. So the backfill is also in rest condition. When the backfill is in rest condition, there is no stretching in the backfill. There is no compression in the backfill. So there is no failure in the backfill in at rest condition. Since there is no failure in the backfill in at rest condition, the backfill is said to be in the elastic equilibrium condition. Since the backfill is in elastic equilibrium condition, in the at rest condition, we can apply the theory of elasticity equations or the strength of materials equations in the backfill, because the backfill in the at rest condition is in elastic equilibrium condition. Then we consider in the backfill the small soil element A. So check that soil element in the backfill. This is the soil element, small portion. So in the backfill, we consider this small portion of soil element. This soil element is at a vertical depth Z from the top of the backfill. From this vertical, from the top of the backfill, the soil element is at vertical depth Z. Then in the backfill, the soil element is subjected to 3 mutually perpendicular normal stresses. Along the x-axis, the normal stress is sigma h. Along the y-axis, the normal stress is sigma v. Along the z-axis, the normal stress is sigma h. So this soil element in the backfill at a depth z from the top of the backfill subjected to 3 mutually perpendicular normal stresses. Along the x-axis, the normal stress is sigma h. Along the y-axis, the normal stress is sigma v, vertical stress. Along the z-axis, the normal stress is sigma h. Because of these 3 normal stresses, there is a strain in the soil element along the x-axis. Take that strain in the soil element along the x-axis as EH. According to strength of materials, the strain along x-axis EX is equal to sigma x by E minus mu into sigma y by E minus mu into sigma z by E. That is from the strength of materials. Apply that equation for this soil element. So along the x-axis, the strain in the soil element EH is equal to sigma h by E minus mu into sigma v by E minus mu into sigma h by E. That is the equation of this strain. Can you see this equation 1 in the cell phones? Please give me the response. Can you see this equation 1 in the cell phones? Is it changing the slide? Dear students, please give me the response. Okay. So please everyone look at equation 1. That is the horizontal strain on the soil element. EH is equal to 1 by E into sigma h minus mu into sigma v plus sigma h. From the strength of materials, we prepare this equation. On the soil element, the horizontal strain EH is equal to 1 by E minus sigma h minus mu into sigma v plus sigma h. But we know that in the at rest condition, there is no deformation in the backfill. In the at rest condition, there is no deformation. There is no stretching in the backfill. There is no compression in the backfill. So in the at rest condition, there is no deformation. The deformation is 0 in the at rest condition. You know that the strain is equal to deformation divided by original length. That is the equation of strain. But in the at rest condition, since there is no deformation in the backfill, the strain in the backfill in the at rest condition is equal to 0. So in the equation 1, the strain EH is equal to 0, because in the at rest condition there is no strain in the backfill. So take that EH as 0 in the equation 1. So check that equation 1. I consider this strain EH as 0 in the equation 1. So here 0 is the strain because there is no deformation in the backfill in at rest condition. So 0 is equal to 1 by E minus sigma h minus mu into sigma v plus sigma h. From this equation you will get sigma h minus mu into sigma v plus sigma h is equal to 0. So sigma h is equal to mu into sigma v plus sigma h. That is this equation. Sigma h is equal to mu into sigma v plus sigma h. Expand this on the right side. So it is mu into sigma v plus mu into sigma h. Bring that mu into sigma h to the left side. So the left side becomes as sigma h minus mu into sigma h is equal to mu into sigma v. Take sigma h common on the left side. So the left side becomes as sigma h into 1 minus mu is equal to mu into sigma v. From this, you will get the relation as sigma h by sigma v is equal to mu divided by 1 minus mu. So check this equation. Everyone, please check this equation. In this equation, sigma h is the horizontal stress. So go to that diagram. I am changing the slide. So please go to this diagram. Everyone, observe this diagram. In this diagram, check that stresses acting on the soil element. We consider the soil element at a depth z from the top of the backfill. Please give me the response. Can you see this slide? That is a picture on the cell phone screens. Is it visible on the cell phone screens? The previous diagram. Can you see that diagram on the cell phones? Is it visible on the cell phones? Okay. So please everyone look at the diagram. Look at the diagram. So in that diagram, the soil element subjected to 3 stresses. The soil element subjected to 3 stresses. One is the vertical stress sigma v. We consider this soil element at a depth z from the top of the backfill. The soil element subjected to vertical stress sigma v along the y-axis. The soil element subjected to horizontal stress sigma z along the x-axis. The same stress sigma h is also acting on the retaining wall. From this backfill, the same stress sigma h is acting on the retaining wall. So at a depth z from the top of the backfill, the horizontal stress acting on the retaining wall is sigma h. This is called the at rest horizontal earth pressure acting on the retaining wall. So check these 2 stresses in the diagram. One is the vertical stress sigma v at a depth z from the top of the backfill. Next one is the horizontal stress sigma h at a depth z from the top of the backfill. In soil engineering, in geotechnical engineering, the ratio between sigma h and sigma v, sigma h by sigma v in geotechnical engineering is called the coefficient of earth pressure. So this is an important concept. Please everyone remember this. Whenever in the geotechnical engineering you come across that ratio, horizontal stress in the soil divided by vertical stress in the soil, sigma h by sigma v, that ratio is called the coefficient of earth pressure. Always in soil engineering or geotechnical engineering, sigma h by sigma v is called the coefficient of earth pressure. At present, we are in the rest condition of backfill. At present, we are discussing the rest condition of backfill. So in this rest condition of backfill, sigma h by sigma v is known as the coefficient of at rest earth pressure. So please remember everyone, in this rest condition of backfill, the ratio between sigma h and sigma v, sigma h by sigma v is called the coefficient of at rest earth pressure. Now coming to this diagram, so check this diagram please. I am going to explain what is this magnitude of the stress sigma v. Take this backfill is in moist condition, that is partially saturated condition. So take this backfill is in the partially saturated condition. Let gamma is the bulk unit weight of the backfill soil. Take gamma is the bulk unit weight of this backfill soil. We consider this soil element at a depth z from the top of the backfill. Then at this depth z from the top of the backfill, the magnitude of this vertical stress sigma v on the soil element. Sigma v is the vertical stress at a depth z from the top of the backfill. The magnitude of this vertical stress sigma v is equal to gamma into z. Gamma is the bulk unit weight of soil, that is the depth from the top of the backfill. So this sigma v is equal to gamma into z. Now we are going to discuss what is this horizontal stress acting on the retaining wall. at a depth z from the top of the backfill. Coming to the derivation of sigma h in the rest condition, that is important for us. We are going to discuss what is the equation of horizontal earth pressure sigma h. So please everyone check this derivation of sigma h in the at rest condition. Just now we discussed in the at rest condition sigma v by sigma h is equal to mu divided by 1 minus mu. So please everyone follow this sigma h by sigma v ratio. Sigma h by sigma v is equal to mu divided by 1 minus mu. In this equation, sigma h is the horizontal stress at a depth z from the top of the backfill in the rest condition. Sigma v is the vertical stress at a depth z from the top of the backfill in rest condition. You know that that ratio sigma h by sigma v is called the coefficient of earth pressure. Since we are in the rest condition, sigma h by sigma v is called. So please everyone check these sentences in the slide. I change the slide. Please look at this slide in the cell phone screens. So here we are discussing an important parameter in geotechnical engineering, that is this coefficient of earth pressure. Coefficient of earth pressure. So far in geotechnical engineering you studied so many coefficients. Coefficient of permeability, coefficient of consolidation, like that. But in the unit 3 you are exposed to the another coefficient in the geotechnical engineering, that is coefficient of earth pressure. Please give me the response. Can you see this slide on the cell phones? That is coefficient of earth pressure in the second sentence. Can you see this on the cell phones? Please give me the response. Okay, please everyone look at that second sentence in that slide. First time, dear students, you are exposed to the another coefficient, important coefficient in geotechnical engineering, that is the coefficient of earth pressure. In geotechnical engineering, the ratio between the horizontal stress to the vertical stress, the ratio between the horizontal stress sigma h to the vertical stress is known as the coefficient of earth pressure. It is called the coefficient of earth pressure. At present, we are in the rest condition of backfill. Since in the rest condition of backfill, the ratio between horizontal stress sigma h to vertical stress sigma v is called the coefficient of at rest earth pressure, that is indicated as K0. So this K0 is called the coefficient of at rest earth pressure. So K0 is equal to sigma h by sigma v, horizontal stress divided by vertical stress. So it is mu by 1 minus mu. From this equation 2, you will get this stress sigma h, horizontal stress in the at rest condition. Sigma h is equal to K0 into sigma v. In rest condition, this horizontal stress sigma h is also indicated as P0. In the rest condition, the horizontal stress sigma h is also indicated as P0. So you will get the at rest horizontal earth pressure P0 is equal to K0 into sigma v. Either sigma h or P0, both are same. In the at rest condition, the earth pressure indicated as either sigma h or P0. So the at rest horizontal earth pressure P0 is equal to K0 into sigma v. We know that this vertical stress sigma v at a depth z from the top of the backfill, sigma v is equal to K into gamma into z. That is the equation of sigma v. So the vertical stress sigma v at a depth z from the top of the backfill, sigma v is gamma into z. Gamma is the bulk unit weight of backfill soil in the partially saturated condition. Then z is the depth from the top of the backfill. So this is the equation of that vertical stress. Substitute this vertical stress equation in the previous equation. You will get this final form of the earth pressure in the rest condition P0. So P0 is equal to K0 into sigma v, but sigma v is equal to gamma into z. So the at rest horizontal earth pressure on the retaining wall P0 is equal to K0 into gamma z. So in this equation 6, P naught is the at rest horizontal earth pressure acting on the retaining wall at a depth Z from the top of the backfill. K naught is the coefficient of at rest earth pressure. Gamma is the bulk unit weight of backfill soil. Z is the depth from the top of the backfill. So check that equation 6. The equation 6 gives us the magnitude of at rest horizontal earth pressure acting on the retaining wall. From that equation 6, we can understand that when Z is equal to 0, Z is equal to 0 means top of the backfill, that is at the top of retaining wall. When Z is equal to 0, that is at the top of the backfill, P naught is equal to 0. When Z is equal to H, capital H, Z is equal to H, that is the bottom of the retaining wall. The retaining wall height is capital H. So when Z is equal to H, that is the bottom of the retaining wall, the stress P naught is equal to K naught into gamma into H. So like that, in the at rest condition, I am changing the slide. I am going to the previous diagram. Please follow the diagram in the cell phones. So I am changing that slides. We discuss the diagram in the beginning. This is the diagram. So please everyone look this diagram in the cell phones. This is the diagram. Check this distribution on the diagram. This is the distribution of at rest horizontal earth pressure acting on this backside of the retaining wall. So everyone look this diagram in the cell phones. Please give me the response. Can you see this diagram in the cell phones? The previous diagram, is it visible on the cell phones? Is it visible? Please give me the response. Okay, so everyone, please look at the diagram, not the retaining wall. Not the retaining wall. This retaining wall height is H. H is the height of this retaining wall. Then not this soil element. It is already over. Please everyone focus on this triangular diagram. Triangle diagram. This triangle diagram is the distribution of the horizontal earth pressure acting on the retaining wall in the at rest condition. So in the at rest condition, this is the distribution of horizontal earth pressure acting on the retaining wall. We know that at a depth Z from the top of the retaining wall, at a depth Z from the top of the retaining wall, the magnitude of the horizontal earth pressure sigma H is equal to K naught into gamma into Z. We discussed this derivation just now. In the at rest condition, at a depth Z from the top of the retaining wall, the magnitude of horizontal earth pressure sigma H is equal to K naught into gamma into Z. At the top of the retaining wall or at the top of the backfill, the depth Z is equal to 0. So substitute that Z is equal to 0, the stress sigma Z is equal to 0 at the top. Whereas at the bottom, that is the bottom of the retaining wall, H is the height of retaining wall, thus stress sigma H is equal to K naught into gamma into Z is H, that is H, K naught gamma H. This is the magnitude of lateral earth pressure acting on the retaining wall at the bottom of the retaining wall. So the distribution is a triangular distribution. So from the top of the retaining wall to the bottom of the retaining wall, the horizontal earth pressure is distributing in the triangular form. At the top, the earth pressure is 0. At the bottom, the earth pressure is K naught into gamma H. This is the distribution. Now by using this distribution of horizontal earth pressure, this is the diagram, distribution diagram of the horizontal earth pressure in the rest condition. So please focus on the distribution diagram. So this distribution diagram in the picture, this diagram is called the at rest horizontal earth pressure distribution diagram. What is the use of this diagram? By using this diagram, we can calculate what is the total horizontal earth pressure force acting on the retaining wall. By using this pressure distribution diagram, this is the horizontal earth pressure distribution diagram in the rest condition. By using this distribution diagram, we can calculate the total horizontal earth force acting on the retaining wall. Take that earth force as P naught. P naught is the total horizontal earth force acting on the retaining wall in the at rest condition. The magnitude of that total horizontal earth force P naught acting on the retaining wall is equal to area of this distribution diagram. What is this area of the distribution diagram? Half into. Why it is a triangle only based on this equation? Check this equation. Sigma h is equal to k naught into gamma h, gamma z. That indicates the linear variation. It is not z square or z cube. It is simply z, like the shear force of UDL. Please remember the shear force of UDL. UDL shear force is W into X. So the distribution of UDL shear force is linear. Similarly, here also we have only this depth Z. So this depth Z indicates the linear variation. If it is Z square, parabolic variation. Z cube, cubic parabola, like in the strength of materials. So here this stress sigma h is a linear variation of Z. It is not Z square or Z cube. So due to this equation, sigma h is equal to k naught into gamma z. The distribution of sigma h is a linear distribution. It is increasing linearly because it is based on the function of z. So at the top, z is equal to 0, sigma h is 0. At the bottom, z is equal to h. So sigma h is equal to k naught into gamma into h. According to this equation, the variation is a linear variation. So you will get the triangular distribution. The area of this triangle is the total horizontal earth force acting on the retaining wall, that is P naught. Area of this triangle is half into height of the triangle is h, base of the triangle is k naught into gamma h. So area of this triangle is half into h into k naught into gamma h, that is half into k naught gamma into h square. So the area of this pressure distribution gives the total horizontal earth force acting on the retaining wall. Since the distribution is triangular distribution, this P naught force is acting at the centroid of the triangle. We know that the centroid of the triangle from the base of the triangle is 1/3 the height. So this is the line of action of the earth pressure force P naught acting on the retaining wall. So this is the discussion of the earth pressure acting on the retaining wall in the at rest condition if the retaining wall backfill soil is in partially saturated condition. So if anybody is having doubts about this at rest lateral earth pressure, you please discuss with me. Dear students, if you have any doubts about this at rest horizontal earth pressure, the picture is in front of you on your cell phones. If you have any doubts about that picture or the distribution or the calculations, you please discuss with me. Any doubts, students, in this at rest horizontal earth pressure? If anybody is having doubts, you please discuss with me. Any doubts in this at rest horizontal earth pressure? Okay, coming to this at rest horizontal earth pressure. In this discussion, we consider the backfill soil is in partially saturated condition, but sometimes the backfill soil in the at rest condition is totally saturated condition, especially in the rainy seasons. The entire backfill behind the retaining wall is totally in the saturated condition. Now, when this backfill is in totally saturated condition, what is this at rest earth pressure distribution on the backside of the retaining wall. So I am going to discuss with you the another condition in this at rest horizontal earth pressure, that is when the backfill is totally in the saturated condition. That is very important condition. Please everyone observe this derivation of at rest horizontal earth pressure when the backfill is totally in the saturated condition. So please go through this diagram. So the condition 2. Just now we explained the condition 1. In the at rest horizontal earth pressure, the backfill is partially saturated. But in this at rest horizontal earth pressure, we have the condition 2. In that condition 2, we assume the entire backfill is in totally saturated condition. This is the diagram. So please everyone check this diagram on your cell phones. This is the water table. During the rainy season, the entire backfill is completely saturated, so that the water table reaches the top of the backfill. When the water table reaches the top of the backfill, the total backfill soil is in the saturated condition. What is the at rest horizontal earth pressure on the retaining wall? When the entire backfill is in the saturated condition. This is a very important discussion. So please everyone follow this second condition carefully. So in the second condition, the water table on the backfill is at the top of the backfill. Once the water table reaches the top of the backfill, the entire backfill is in the saturated condition. We are going to discuss in this condition, in this totally saturated condition, what is the distribution of at rest horizontal earth pressure on the retaining wall. Here also, in the second condition also, we consider the soil element in the backfill. So check this soil element. In this saturated condition also, the water table is at the top of the backfill. In this saturated condition also, we consider the soil element at a depth z from the top of the backfill. This soil element is subjected to the total vertical stress sigma V. So please focus on the sigma V on the soil element A. Sigma V is called the total vertical stress on the soil element. Since the soil is in saturated condition, in the second condition, we must consider the another unit weight of backfill soil, gamma saturation. In the first condition, we consider only gamma, that is the bulk unit weight of backfill soil, because in the first condition, the soil is partially saturated, whereas in the second condition, the entire backfill is completely saturated. So in that sigma V calculation, in the second condition, to find out this total vertical normal stress sigma V, we must consider the gamma saturation of the backfill soil. We know that when the soil is saturated, the soil has the unit weight known as the saturated unit weight gamma saturation. So in this second condition, we are going to consider the gamma saturation to calculate this vertical stress acting on the soil. Gamma V is equal to the total, sigma V. Sigma V is equal to gamma saturation into height Z. So in this second condition, this total vertical stress sigma V, the total vertical stress sigma V on the soil element is equal to gamma saturation into depth Z. Since the entire soil is saturated, the entire backfill is saturated, the pore water, we know that in the saturated condition, all the soil voids are filled with water. So in the saturated condition, all the voids in soil is filled with water. In the saturated condition, that is when the water table is at the top of the backfill, the pore water in the soil applies the pore water pressure on the soil, that is small u. In the stability of slopes, I explain this pore water pressure. When the soil is totally saturated, That is, when the water table is at the top of the backfill, the pore water in the soil applies the pressure in the soil, that is called pore water pressure. It is always acting in the vertically upward direction. The pore water pressure small u is equal to gamma W, unit weight of water, into the depth Z. That is the equation of this pore water pressure acting on the soil element. So in this second condition, when this backfill is totally saturated, this vertical stress sigma V is equal to gamma saturation into depth Z acting in the downward direction. Since the entire soil is saturated, the entire voids are filled with water, that is called pore water. That pore water in the soil applies the pore water pressure in the soil in upward direction, that is U. On the soil element A, that pore water pressure U is equal to gamma W into depth Z. So two stresses are acting on the soil element A. One is sigma V in the downward direction, other one is pore water pressure in the upward direction. Then according to Terzaghi, the effective normal stress sigma V dash, acting on the soil element sigma V dash is equal to sigma V minus U. The total vertical stress minus the pore water pressure is known as the effective vertical stress acting on the soil element. So in the second condition, the water table is at the top of the backfill. The total backfill is saturated. In the saturated condition, the soil element in the backfill subjected to two vertical stresses. Total vertical stress sigma V in the downward direction. Sigma V is equal to gamma saturation into depth Z. Next one is the pore water pressure U acting in the upward direction. Pore water pressure U is equal to gamma W into depth Z. So the effective vertical stress acting on the soil element sigma V dash is equal to sigma V minus U. Sigma V dash is equal to sigma V minus U. What is sigma V? Gamma saturation into, this is the equation. The effective vertical stress sigma V dash. Please give me the response. Can you see this equation 9 on the cell phones? Can you see this slide on the cell phones? Equation 9. Anyone please give me the response? Can you see this slide on the cell phones? Okay, please look at the equation 9. In the second condition, sigma V dash, in the equation 9, sigma V dash, it is called the effective vertical stress acting on the soil element. Effective vertical stress sigma V dash is equal to total vertical stress sigma V minus the pore water pressure U. You know that sigma V is equal to gamma saturation into Z, and U is equal to gamma W into Z, that is the pore water pressure. Take this Z common in this equation. Take the Z common in the equation, so it is Z into gamma saturation minus gamma W. You know that in soil mechanics, gamma saturation minus gamma W is called gamma dash. That is the submerged unit weight of water. That is equal to gamma dash, that is equal to gamma saturation minus gamma W. So on the soil element, the effective vertical stress sigma V dash is equal to gamma dash into Z. Now we know that on the soil element, not only the vertical stresses, horizontal stresses are also acting on the soil element. Check this diagram, please. The soil element is subjected to not only the vertical stresses, the horizontal stresses are also acting on the soil element. Take P naught dash. P naught dash is the effective. At rest horizontal pressure acting on the soil element. So in this horizontal direction, look at this P naught dash. So far we discussed only the vertical stresses. We discussed the sigma V dash in the condition 2. Sigma V dash is equal to gamma dash into Z. Now coming to the horizontal stresses. The soil element subjected to the first horizontal stress P naught dash. This P naught dash is called the effective horizontal stress acting on the soil element in the rest condition. You know that from the previous condition 1, we know that P naught is equal to K naught into sigma V. We discussed in the first condition. In the at rest condition, the horizontal stress P naught is equal to K naught. What is K naught? The coefficient of at rest earth pressure, K naught into sigma V. That is the relation between the horizontal stress and the vertical stress. In this rest condition, P naught is equal to K naught into sigma V. So according to that equation, P naught dash is equal to the effective horizontal stress acting on the soil element. P naught dash is equal to K naught into sigma V dash. What is sigma V dash? Gamma dash into Z. That is this sigma V dash. So P naught dash, the effective horizontal earth pressure, P naught dash is equal to K naught into sigma V dash. Not only this P naught dash, the soil element subjected to the horizontal pore water pressure according to Pascal's law. Please remember that Pascal's law in fluid mechanics. The water pressure is constant in all directions. At a point, the water pressure is constant in all directions along the x-axis, y-axis, z-axis. According to Pascal's law, the water pressure is constant. Just now we discussed in this soil element, the vertical pore water pressure is U. Pore water pressure is the water pressure. Pore water pressure is water pressure. So on the soil element A, not only in the vertical direction, the pore water pressure is also acting in the horizontal direction. Because according to Pascal's law, the water pressure at a point is constant in all the directions. So apply that Pascal's law on this soil element. So in the soil element, along the vertical direction, the pore water pressure is U. So on the soil element, along the horizontal direction also, the pore water pressure is U. So this soil element is subjected to two horizontal pressures. One is this horizontal pressure P naught dash. Next one is the horizontal pressure U. Here also U is equal to gamma W into H. So check this soil element. The soil element subjected to two horizontal pressures. One is P naught dash. P naught dash is equal to K naught into sigma V dash. Next one is the pore water pressure U. Because of Pascal's theory, this pore water pressure U is equal to gamma W into Z. Now the total horizontal pressure acting on the soil element A. In the second condition, the total horizontal pressure acting on the soil element A is equal to pH, that is equal to P naught dash plus U. The total horizontal pressure acting on the soil element A is pH, that is equal to P naught dash plus U. What is P naught dash? K naught into sigma V dash. What is sigma V dash? Gamma dash into Z. So P naught dash is equal to K naught into gamma dash into Z, and this pore water pressure U is equal to gamma W into H. So check this diagram. On this soil element, the pressure P naught dash is K naught into gamma dash into H, Z. The pore water pressure U is gamma W into Z. This is the total horizontal pressure acting on the soil element in the condition 2 at a depth Z from the top of the backfill. Okay, students, with this I will stop the today's class. We will continue this condition 2 in the next class. I will explain this condition 2 in the next class. Very, very important condition. We will discuss about that condition 2 in the next class, just to bring the knowledge on effective stresses and also Pascal's law. I discussed this condition 2 in the today's class. So please everyone think about this condition 2. Here we apply the effective condition and also we apply the Pascal's law. So Pascal's law states that at a point in the water, the pressure is constant in all the directions. So at soil element A, the pore water pressure is acting in the vertical direction, also in the horizontal direction. We will discuss about this condition 2 in the next class. Thanks to one and all for joining the class. We will continue this discussion in the Monday class. With this, I am stopped this class. You please leave from the class, and if you have any doubts,